Hello, fellow Earthlings. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you know me personally, there is a phrase I often use. I have used this phrase for many, many years. I often say, our bodies are our temples. To me, a temple is a place or structure where God's spirit or light resides. Call it whatever you want. I don't care what you name it. But just as a temple is a sacred place, our temple bodies are also sacred. They house our consciousness, our emotions, and our experiences. It is very sacred. And in this episode, I want to share with you some important information that, if grasped, will change your life. Stay with me on this one. There is a spark, an essence within all of us. This essence animates our avatars, our earthly bodies. And our spark, this essence, is light. We are light tied to mass. We are a spark of light that comes from light and returns to light. It is the quantum mechanics of human creation, which one of my teachers, Dr. Courtney Hunt, even wrote a book about. I highly recommend this book. This information is embedded throughout ancient texts and encoded within all religions. We are a local manifestation of energy. Outside of the physical you, there is no time. You become you because a zinc spark or halo became trapped in energy and trapped with pre-programmed information from a quantum field or zygote. So what is a zygote? A zygote is a fertilized egg. It forms when a sperm meets an egg in one of the fallopian tubes. The result of this union is a zygote. A zygote contains all of the genetic information or DNA needed to create a new human being or earthling. It is like a blueprint of information. In 2016, researchers were able to identify a zinc spark or halo, and it is sometimes called a halo because the spark literally looks like a halo. So researchers were able to identify this zinc spark or halo that marks the successful merger of a sperm and egg, signifying that a new zygote has been formed. But it goes much deeper than this. They were able to discover a constellation of discoveries that points to the exact moment that the soul or consciousness enters the body. As the halo of zinc explodes out of the egg, something incredible seems to happen. It is at this moment of fertilization that the consciousness or soul enters the zygote, which will then develop into the embryo and then into the fetus. Nature often follows a repetitive pattern or golden ratio. Has anyone seen an image of a black hole? The similarities between the event horizon of a black hole and the event horizon of a zinc spark is strikingly alike. As above, so below. For those who are interested in exploring more on this topic, I will link a video below. So what is my point to all of this? I know what I said could seem heavy, and don't feel like you need to grasp all of that immediately, but it is something to think about. So if our bodies are our temples, which is a place or structure where light or God or spirit resides, then how important do you think it is for us to treat our physical bodies with reverence and care? In order to do that, we need to understand our bodies to some degree. You don't need to become a doctor to understand your earthly avatars. I am a holistic herbalist who has also been studying how to use food and nature as medicine for well over a decade. I attend symposiums and conferences with the most groundbreaking science and doctors. I take courses from doctors, herbalists, and other brilliant minds in this field. I learn from mentors, people who have been studying herbs, nature, nutrition, and the body for decades. And I do all of this for my own understanding and knowledge so I can turn around and teach others. With all my knowledge in this area, I don't treat people. Sometimes individuals will come to me wanting to set up an appointment, looking for me to treat their ailments. Although I am happy to provide insider feedback should any come to me, I am more passionate about teaching people how to understand and care for the temples themselves, how to understand the language of the body, how to understand the basics of its mechanisms, how to track patterns. It is to put the power back into your own hands. Isn't it amazing how many of us know more about how our phones or computers or cars function rather than our own bodies, the bodies that we live in every day? It doesn't take much outside of a little interest in learning a few basic things that could create monumental avenues of change. So, why did I spend so much time at the start of this discussion emphasizing light? Well, this brings me to the mitochondria. Your mitochondria gives you power as a human. It gives information to your DNA to keep you healthy. This is very important, and I'm going to explain why in simple terms. All you need to know is that your mitochondria is the powerhouse of your cells. Its primary role is to generate energy. The mitochondria generates energy by producing a molecule called ATP. ATP is our human battery source. It is our bank of energy. The mitochondria takes cues from light. Remember this. It's important. The mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of your cells, giving you power as an earthling and giving information to your DNA to keep you healthy, takes cues from the light. What cues are you giving your mitochondria? Understanding how this works can reverse age you. I teach this in my private teaching groups, which the waitlist for my next group will be available on my website, holisticearthling.com. We turn the light of the sun and all of its instructions into energy to rebuild ourselves. I'm a student of ancient texts and ancient civilization. My brain works in pattern recognition. Our ancestors give us all of this information about the sun via ancient text. None of this information is new. It was given to us by our ancestors, yet also kept from us by several institutions, which I'm not going to go into, at least not today, for algorithm purposes. If you study ancient texts and ancient civilizations, it is amazing how we seem to come from a long line of sun worshippers. There have been countless sun gods or son of gods dating back to the start of our currently known civilization. Texts and teachings have been manipulated for means of control, but it's all there. It's all there for us. The vitamin D in your body is your biomarker of all of the messages of God or source. Vitamin D controls nuclear receptors regulating your genes. Remember, your spark is light. We are a spark of light tied to mass, the mass being our bodies, our avatars. We are light tied to mass that comes from light and returns to the light source once we are no longer tied to mass. Vitamin D, which comes from our earthly light source, the sun, regulates genes and heals almost all diseases when used properly. I have reversed age and healed major ailments within myself by understanding this concept. It's important. The sun plays your DNA like a symphony, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do. Your mitochondria takes cues from the light to produce hormones based on the information it is receiving. This is very important. I want you to think about what cues your mitochondria, the powerhouse of your cells that gives information to your DNA to keep you healthy. What cues is your mitochondria receiving if you are staying up until 11 o'clock at night staring at artificial light? The mitochondria cannot distinguish between the sun and artificial light. I am simply introducing this topic, and understanding this topic could create drastic changes in your health. The sun is extremely important to our overall well-being. Living our life in accordance with the sun and having proper vitamin D levels year-round is extremely important. Taking vitamin D via a supplement will not give you the full symphony. If you didn't get enough vitamin D in the summertime to get you through the winter, then taking it via a supplement is better than having low vitamin D levels. But it is not the same thing as obtaining the full symphony from the sun. Every morning, rain or shine, I catch the sunrise with naked eyes. I live my life in accordance with the sun. This means in the winter, when the sun sets early, so do I. My bedtime is a lot earlier during that time of year. Now, obviously, I don't go to bed at 5 o'clock in the winter, but the second the sun goes down at any point in the year, I adjust myself and the lighting in the house. I try to use lights that have only incandescent bulbs or candles. Don't burn your house down. I will put on blue blocker glasses. The screens in my house have blue blocker screens over them. I go to bed an appropriate time, and by appropriate, I mean a time where I will be able to get enough sleep and be up in time to catch the sunrise. I understand that when the light hits my eyes and travels through my pineal gland, it is received by the mitochondria, which does things like produces hormones like cortisol and melatonin based on the light information it is receiving. Light is your control switch for your DNA through your pineal gland. The sun's light flows through everything on Earth. All of the light of the sun is driving everything about our health. You are turning all of the light of the sun and all of its instructions into energy to rebuild yourself. Some of you have been in my private teaching groups and know that this is a center focus of what I teach. If you are giving yourself a bunch of artificial light late at night staring at screens, then you are messing up your mitochondria, which means you are messing up your DNA and your hormones. We have major hormone problems in this country. Your hormones are chemical messengers and are very important. Your DNA is everything. We are meant to be outside and have largely turned into an indoor culture. Earthlings are basically houseplants. If we don't get enough water and sunlight, we start to wilt. When we are outside, our culture has been trained to lather themselves with sunscreen, blocking out the messages of light that light is trying to provide to our DNA and hormones. There has been a movement in our culture creating almost fear around the sun, saying that it gives us cancer, so companies created cancer-causing lotions called sunscreen to block out this light source that we are tied to. Our bodies are designed as literal light catchers. Can you feel it? Low vitamin D levels is a precursor to pretty much all diseases. Vitamin D helps us absorb calcium, making it crucial for bone health. Bone disorders like osteoporosis are linked to low vitamin D. We know that those with low vitamin D levels have weaker immune systems and are more prone to autoimmune. All neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's are from a lack of proper vitamin D over periods of time. Vitamin D is the control switch to things like preventing cancer. It literally makes cancer cells stop growing. Vitamin D is an inflammation regulator, and it regulates major parts of the cardiovascular system. I mean, I could go on and on. Don't get me wrong, the sun can cause harm if we do not understand how to use it correctly, which is something I definitely go deeply into in my private teaching groups. You do not want to burn. It is best used when making high levels of beta-hydroxybutyrate. In the meantime, do whatever you can to get more vitamin D safely. Again, you do not want to burn. There is an amazing app I like to use that I've turned many people onto. It's free and it's called D-Minder. That's D as in dog, M-I-N-D-E-R. This app is amazing and will allow you to get vitamin D naturally and safely based off of your skin type, how much clothes you are wearing, where you are in the world, and what time of day it is. It will even tell you how much vitamin D you received during a sun exposure. And it will tell you when your vitamin D window is each day out of the year. See if you can incorporate more outside time in your life. If you work from home, work outside sometimes. Eat outside. Start there. Do easy things. Build a relationship with the sun. Make it a love affair. Your spark is light. If this channel resonates, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so we can engage together. Until next time, to thine own self be true.